I'm gonna think out loud. Okay, I haven't had a.
You know what happens when
I know.
Lawyers, please.
Maybe it's a Catalan thing of this whole thing of if you can please the children and the grandmas, success is guaranteed. Hello, Rigoberta Bandini. You're listening to Rosalia's Chicken Teriyaki. We're all, I think, very excited about the release of her album this week.
This Friday.
This Friday.
Yeah, 2 days.
After a year or more of all these little pearl drops on Instagram of this, that, the other collaborations with all these high-profile artists. Everybody loves Rosalía. Rosalía is here. She's a big star. She performed again on Saturday Night Live, went on Jimmy Fallon's show, I think even Jimmy Kim. I don't know. She did the rounds. She is now a proper official global superstar.
Except she isn't, really.
In what sense?
All right, how many British top 40 hits do you think she's had?
None.
One.
Which one?
Look, that's global enough, no?
Which one?
That was the one with Billie Eilish, which got to 35.
Okay, but...
How many American top 40 hits do you think she's had?
One?
None. Yeah.
But that's the cool thing. Rosalía...
Up until now, Ariana Grande didn't have that many top hits either.
And Ariana Grande is like ones all over the place, Ariana Grande.
Yeah. But okay, album sales no longer dictate an artist's popularity. Now the popularity is measured by the kind of view, how many views, how many clicks, how many followers. So I don't think the rules apply. Like if you ask a person from like who is not a music follower, shall we say, and you ask them, do you know who Rosalía is? They might be able to say, oh, the girl with the long nails, or, oh, the one who sings in Spanish. You know what I mean?
I love Rosalía. I think her music is absolutely fantastic. But I think there's this kind of thing that the particularly here in Catalonia, to do, there's this vision of her as this absolutely massive global star, which isn't true. And I think her record company thinks they're basically doing the whole kind of album build-up like she's going to be a massive, massive star. And I'm not convinced it's going to happen.
I agree with you because we have this sense here once someone goes like to the US and just the person recognizes them, we feel like, they're super international, everyone loves them or whatever, and it may not be true. But in this case, she's best friends with the Kardashians and no one is more international than the Kardashian family. So once you get the stamp of approval of getting a song on a Kardashian story or hanging out with Kylie Jenner or Kylie Jenner making stories at your concert, then you're international. You don't get more international than that.
Also, the Frank Ocean name drop. I mean, in that video for Genius, the website where she's taking apart lyric by lyric of Saoko, she acknowledges at one point, because she mentions Frank in the song, and she acknowledges he's one of the most influential artists for a generation, and then recounts when she casually was in the studio with him, hanging out, and he said this phrase, and then I used it in a song. It's like, wow, you must be big. If you're hanging out with Frank, you're not like just some flipada from San Sebastián de Cerroviras.
No, but like I would love her to be a big global star, and I think she's definitely culturally important. The music makes her incredibly important, incredibly good, incredibly interesting. But I just think it's almost like everyone's getting a bit ahead of ourselves, in the actual level of stardom. And I think her record company is getting a bit ahead of it. And they're actually, right, this is one of the reasons I was thinking about this is Chicken Teriyaki, because it feels like sometimes I quite like it and sometimes I think it's just desperate to be a TikTok hit.
But it doesn't hide that it's not like, oh, subtle that I want to be on TikTok. It's like, this song is for TikTok. And actually, I'm making a lot of promo through TikTok. Like, TikTok is a big platform for me and for this album. And this song is made to have this specific dance. And when they try to hide that it's done in that purpose, it's tacky. But once you do it like openly, like, yes, that's the purpose. Yes, that's exactly what I thought when doing it. You cannot like say it's wrong because it's part of the purpose. Like,
no, but do you remember when Justin Bieber did Yummy and it was so obviously made for TikTok, and I was like, oh, Justin, come on.
Yeah, but
but he was trying to hide it, kind of. No,
was he?
But it's not like Yummy. You cannot. Well,
Yummy's a good song. Everyone shits on Yummy, and it is a very catchy and it's good ring. I don't know. I think it's my favorite Justin Bieber song. But I will say, I don't think it's taki chicken teriyaki because it may seem like it's a jingle for an advertisement for the popular Japanese recipe, but it made me think of pop art. Like for me, it is Sonic Liechtenstein. It's like the Campbell's soup it's Andy Warhol's Campbell's soup. It's like super silly, super remember it. I mean, it was El Guincho who encouraged her during the making of Malquerer to use vocal hooks or onomatopeias, like the famous Tra Tra, which is now iconic and synonymous with Rosalía, or La Rosalía. You know, in nearly every song of hers now, she always drops it, not that at some point. La Rosalía, and it's a thing. It's like an earworm. So what she's doing with the form, and this is what I like about the fact that you are saying, Ben, that she's not the global star we may think she is, because she's still underground enough to be able to make these edgy pop statements with a certain depth, even though it seems like it's being very superficial and there's this silly dance. Well, it's not a silly dance, but there's this dance for TikTok. I think she's working with the art form of being a pop star, but doing something that could be subversive. In the end, reggaeton is still the music of the ghetto. Like, even though it's super mainstream and super popular, it's still the music that came from the ghetto. And I think that Motomami is going to be her giant love letter to Latin American ghetto music, like bachata, Dominican bachata, like on La Fama, or chicken teriyaki, which is kind of like a sped up reggaeton, like Saoko.
But at the same time, her boyfriend, Raúl Alejandro, did a tweet the other day, and he was kind of right that Motomami, well, I guess he has heard all of it, is different from like every genre. Like, it's not reggaeton, it's not full-on bachata, it's not like full-on Latin music or experimental. It's kind of her own genre, like her doing whatever she wants, because you cannot really like pinpoint what she's doing exactly, and obviously she's taking lots of references and a lot of samples from iconic songs, but it's not a specific genre. It's not like you can say it's flamenco like Los Angeles was or stuff like that, and that's cool. I like it.
I noticed DJing at this really mainstream event. It was like a family event, and what I did was I downloaded all the top 50 España songs, right? All the big popular songs of the moment, because I don't know, it's not the music I listen to, so it's like, look, just go. And I could tell when I DJ'd Raúl Alejandro, songs by, I don't know, all the main pop reggaeton artists, songs that are big now, right? And then I would play a Rosalía like Saoko and stuff, and you could tell the difference between what Rosalía is doing is still edgy, it's still closer to underground, or I don't know, underground, but like, and I don't like talking about good music versus bad music, but the other kind of poppy reggaeton, it sounded not cheap, but very like René Residente says, is like hot dog. It's like hot dog. Whereas Rosalía is a little bit more Michelin starred. I don't know.
Yeah.
And it wasn't me. It wasn't just me. It was the people would be vibing with the sort of commercial cheesier songs.
Yeah, because hot dogs are good. We love hot dogs, but we also like delicatessen.
The reduced teriyaki demi-glace sauce, you know, and it's been like, oh, no. This you can buy the teriyaki in the supermarket, or you can go to some Japanese master's little tavern in Shiretoko and you know, where he's had this aged soy sauce and naturally fermented and stuff, and you will tell the difference. Well, it's the same with Rosalia's current pop songs. Like, people weren't dancing obviously to Saoko. It's like, oh, this is a bit darker. I don't like if my children like this. It's like, because there's edge. It's too hot for y'all.
I found one thing I found really interesting in all the singles she's released since her Malquerer. I've absolutely loved half of them and haven't liked the other half. It's really weird. It seems to go like love not chicken, love not
which
chicken.
Which ones you didn't like and which one you
Yo
did?
por ti, tú por mí.
Okay.
Yeah, that
Haute
one was...
couture. I didn't think Abele was up to much. But I really loved Saoko. I really liked Linda. I thought it was excellent.
Yeah.
I thought Chicken was a lot of fun. Dolerme was an incredible
that's
song.
amazing.
Con la Dura was a great song. It's been weird. Like, not that anything been bad, but I just absolutely loved them. So I don't quite know what to expect from this album, because it's really, really up and down, you know?
I can see that kind of, and I think the whole Motomami, like, there's this kind of, in like Saoko and Motomami have this like dark kind of tone underneath, no? Even though there's like a minimal kind of beat or production from El Guincho, but there's this kind of general growling, and I think it's literally like the sound of one of these big motorbikes. I don't know.
Well, isn't that what you said, that the album's kind of a there's Moto side and there's Mami side, basically. So you're going to get the more
softer version on Mami.
And it's being superficial. It's cool that she's appropriating something that's always been seen as so masculine, the motorbike, motorbike culture. You have like the typical Harley Davidson heads. You have these kind of speedy racing bikes, that are always, you kind of think of DMX and the Rough Rider crew, like, vroom, 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 cruising through the city. And all of a sudden, when you see the video for Saoko, where it's all these girls like riding hard on these super bikes, going really fast, doing all these kind of dangerous stunts and everything, it's like, that's something that I haven't seen in pop culture before. I welcome it on MTV.
Can I say about chicken teriyaki as well, that although I don't particularly like it, like if you get a bunch of kids together, oh my God, do they like at the weekend we went to a relative's 99th birthday, and the kids did a TikTok with the 99-year-old grandma, and you're like, okay, I'll write that down. I can see what's happening there.
And that's what Rosalía was thinking all along. That was her plan, to get the kids and the grandma and everyone on TikTok to dance to chicken teriyaki.
In Cañellas, she did it.
This is something that I'm going to think out loud, okay? I haven't had a...
You know what happens when
I know.
Lawyers, please.
Maybe it's a Catalan thing of this whole thing of if you can please the children and the grandmas, success is guaranteed. Hello, Rigoberta Bandini. You go to her show and it is full of grandmothers and very elder mothers. Like they really relate to Rigoberta's sense of joy. And obviously the children love Rigoberta Bandini's songs. So the same with Rosalía. I think it's almost like a commercial kind of thing. Like, never mind the young kids in the middle and stuff. We'll find them somehow. But if you can... If the children like you, the parents are going to pay for your music to take them to go see the show, because you always want to please children, and if you can make it, I don't know what the angle of the grandmothers, because grandmothers don't really have money to spend, because poor things, they have very little pensions. I don't know where I'm going with this. Sorry, cut me off.
I don't think Rosalía was at all thinking that, because today hentai is coming out and everyone, including young people, were like, oh my God, these lyrics, they're so bad. She's talking way too much about sex. And it's like, yeah, well, the song's called hentai. What would you expect?
Exactly.
And I love that she's like, I don't care if no one likes this song. I'm going to put it out anyway.
I really like the beat on hentai. It's really tough, isn't it? There's sort of a preview out you can listen to, and
all the hate she got when she did like the TikTok in the mountains, skiing and stuff, that she kind of lip sing the lyrics a bit, and everyone was so outraged. Now all these people that went on Twitter and hated on her, once the song is out and everyone sees like it's super good and breaking all the molds, they will be like, yes, I always said I liked it. I never said I didn't like it. It's good.
Screen grabs.
It's true, though. It's ridiculous here, the amount of... It's what I was saying, like, in that everyone gets a bit carried away and thinking she's the biggest star in the entire world, but also the hatred she gets is
but this happened even in El Mar Querer, where she was very buttoned up, shall we say, right? And she'd do these performances in these award shows, wearing these long dresses and being very folkloric in her own way and stuff. And even then, she was getting the hate from all the intellectualization of flamenco versus trap. I don't know, the new feminism, the new codes of the barrio, the working class culture being reflected in the video clips and stuff. Now, let's remember, she is a 25, 26-year-old person who's having a lot of fun. This is her moment to have fun with pop music. She's still going to have that top-level quality of how she approaches music making. I'm glad that she's still working with El Guincho. There's going to be other interesting collaborations on this record. I think Pharrell is also credited.
Pharrell is on hentai. Well, him and Chad Hugo. So I'm not sure if it's a sample or not. There's a burial sample in there on Candy. James Blake is on there as well. There's an impressive amount of people.
Tego Calderon?
Who?
Tego Calderon, maybe.
Tego?
I think so.
Wow. Yeah. You see, that a few months or weeks ago, she joined La Ventura on stage, the group which became super famous for making bachata pop love songs. Obviously, their most famous hit, one of my favorite songs, Obsesión. And Rosalía guessed it, and there's not that much female vocals except for that incredible line when the guy's like talking about pursuing this schoolgirl. And all of a sudden, he's like, I'm sending you all these texts. And she's like, no puedo, tengo novio. And she did it very Rosalía style. No puedo, tengo novio. Giving her touch. And it's like, this is the best thing you've done all year, Rosalía. Singing that line in front of a very large audience. Yeah.
What did you make of the Saturday Night Live performance?
I still haven't seen it. It's not available.
I loved it. It made me reappreciate chicken teriyaki because chicken teriyaki and Saoko came out with like a week difference or very short time, and I ended up like comparing them, and I liked Saoko so much that I felt like, oh, maybe I'm not gonna listen as much to chicken teriyaki. And after seeing the performance, I was like, this song is actually amazing. I like it except the like part apart from the main like the main chorus line, the other part of the song is amazing as well. Like I don't know, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's a grower. Last night I thought it sounds a bit flat, chicken teriyaki, like flatter than Saoko. But this morning I couldn't stop singing aki.
One thing teriyaki. I do like, she's really got swagger.
Yes,
she really does. Like, you know.
And you can see it in that video for Genius.
Yeah.
You know, she's like breaking down and she's in, and this is what I like. Like, she's finally living up to those comparisons with Lola Flores, who was very famous for giving the best interviews ever, always being like a super La Faraona, you know, being just greater than everyone else just by saying really, really strong things. And I mean, there's a moment in that video where she says like, talking about the line about fuck the style, fuck the stylists, you know, and she's like, hey, I have nothing against stylists, I love them, but you know, sometimes it's important to dress. And she's like, yo, me hago mi lucaso. Yeah, and she does it so like that's like a meme in its own, you know. It's like, wow, you're just like killing us here with all these incredible phrases.
Do you know what's kind of amazing in that video too? That when she kind of like raps the lyrics of the song, even though she's just at like the Genius studio, they sound exactly the same, which is like, oh, yes. So like, it's like, okay, that's pretty impressive. You know, I mean, I'm sure there are effects in her voice when she does it, but like, it sounds literally the same. She can do it like live. Very impressive. Yeah. Talk about Saturday Night Live. So you didn't see it. What did you make to the big jacket dress?
I know
Mark Jacobs,
people
apparently
wouldn't like it. But
I
was
like it. I'm on
go
board.
on. And even the chicken teriyaki, she had like a jacket, one arm on.
That annoyed me. That annoyed me because I was like, please take it off or put it on. It's like waiting for your kid to go in the elevator. You're like, just like, God, put your jacket on.
Put your jacket on.
Or take it off. Just do one.
I think she now does all this stuff like to like make people get like a bit annoyed at her. Like, she likes annoying a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, she enjoys seeing people get irritated because she doesn't have an arm on or because she's wearing a duvet instead of a jacket or whatever.
Well, if she ever has children, right, there's going to come a day when her children are playing in the park and it's really cold and they're not wearing a jacket. She'll be like, oh, look, Juan, or whatever, put your jacket on, right? And he'll go, what, like this? And put it half on. And that's it. Finished.
Because she already did it.
Karma. Thing is, the whole duvet thing, I've seen it before. You know who?
ASAP.
ASAP and Rihanna, they wore duvets to the Met Gala,
yeah,
wasn't it?
The Met Gala. Yeah.
So yeah.
I have a jacket that's a bit like a sort of sleeping bag.
I like the duvet thing. It's cool because apart from it being super warm and stuff, I don't know, it just looks great. The whole kind of baggy thing, concealing what your body is like underneath, keeping some mystery reserved.
Can I just say that I really, really like Rosalía, and I really want her to be the biggest star in the world. But I just this is what I'm saying. Like, I just don't think she is yet, and I think everyone really wants her to be, but I don't think it's quite.
You know how you know you've made it? When you can afford to live in Miami. And it's not just her. El Guinzo is also living in Miami. So when you're doing so well that even your producer can live in Miami, I don't know if they live in a flat or in one of the mansions near Julio Iglesias and Alejandro Sanz, but you're living in Miami.
My great aunt lived in Miami.
All right.
Well,
she hasn't written any big hits.
I know. From a Spanish point of view, you always think, Julio Iglesias is the biggest thing to happen in Spanish music ever, and he lives in Miami. So if Rosalía lives in Miami, she must be doing all right.
Miami and Manresa. So what else do you want? You get both.
Manresa?
She bought a mansion in Manresa.
Oh, did she buy it?
Yeah, with Raúl Alejandro. Yeah.
For her or for her family? With
Both-
Raúl Alejandro?
With Raúl, both of them.
Manresa.
A modernist a modernist mansion in Manresa.
It's
like
really
a
beautiful.
Masia.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's
You
so,
can
so-
see it. It's
yeah,
available.
Yeah.
It's
3
like a
million
patrimony.
euros?
Like
Vale.
It was actually quite quote unquote cheap. Like for what it was affordable.
But okay, so then that's how you know you've made it. When you're Catalan and you can afford to buy your own Masia, that's the level of success. That's like a little glassy.
I bet in the US they're like, damn it, she bought a mansion in Manresa. She's made it. But,
I got a friend from Manresa, and she always says nothing ever happens in Manresa. She left it as early as she could. But like, it seems like it's all going
true.
down.
Only those happened in Manresa. You know that jewelry line with the little bear? That's from Manresa.
No, but they've got like an electronic music festival. They've got like another music festival. Rosalía lives there. What more do you want?
yeah,
I know.
Look at that.
It'll become the new Hollywood. The new Hollywood.
The new Miami.
My great aunt will move there, and they'll be.